Luigi's Mansion 2 has been out for about 2 months, and I really wanted to take my time with this title. Was 10 years honestly enough time for Luigi's newest game, or does Nintendo need to send this franchise to its graveyard? Let's hunt some ghosts and find out, shall we? Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon begins many years after the GameCube adventure. Well, at least we can assume that. Professor Egad now lives inside the manor along with some ghosts. That is until one night when King Boo steals the Dark Moon out of the sky, which then causes all the ghosts in the valley to go nuts. Left with no other option and having lost the Ghostbusters phone number, he must place his trust in Luigi once again to save the world. Now, as I'm sure you've guessed, the whole point of this game is to reassemble the missing pieces of the Dark Moon. Still, it wouldn't be a true sequel if you couldn't go around collecting loot. Like before, different parts of the mansion are locked and you'll need to locate keys in order to progress further. However, unlike before, Luigi's Mansion is now level-based instead of an open environment. Miyamoto said for this sequel he wanted a more streamlined experience and longer adventure for the player. Frankly, this is both a good and bad thing. Good, in a sense it makes the game longer and keeps the puzzles feeling fresh. Bad, because players aren't allowed to explore the manor to their heart's content anymore. Aside from the level layout, Luigi gets some new tools for his ghost hunting trade. The trusty flashlight is back, though now it has a flash ability to blind and capture ghosts too. Players can also shine the light on the professor's inventions to interact with them, and another light upgrade allows you to find hidden objects later in the game. Now, the poltergeist can actually be upgraded in this game too. You do this by collecting lots of treasure. These upgrades give you more suction power and increase your light meter too. During your journey, Luigi will learn new ways to use the vacuum. One such upgrade that I love is being able to float like a balloon. Replacing the Game Boy Horror in this game is the Dual Screen, or DS for short, which acts as your map and communication with the professor, whom pesters the player like a clingy girlfriend every 5 minutes. Seriously? Seriously? Now, the periscope is a device that detects paranormal activity, or in English, it's a radar for ghosts. Yeah. Gameplay is alright, though it feels odd at first, but that's because there's no second analog stick used for aiming the vacuum anymore. Instead, players use the X button to vacuum high, and the B button to vacuum low. However, even though you can move from side to side, you can't rotate your character while sucking up ghosts. While this might not be a big deal for some, for me, I don't like that my mobility is now limited. Graphics, on the other hand, are pretty awesome in this game. Definitely, the animations and level design are miles better than the original Luigi's Mansion. Luigi comes to life like never before, clumsily stumbling through the different mansions hunting ghosts. You just can't help being delighted by Luigi's performance in this game. However, while the environments are packed with so much more detail, they just feel much smaller than before. The manor originally was this massive open area to explore, but now it's just part of the valley that Luigi visits during his adventure. Alrighty, so since I played this game mostly on my XL, the image looked not as sharp when compared to a regular 3DS, so it lost a little bit of its quality. But I really didn't notice the difference until I began working on this review. Now, the 3D looked great, at least until I needed to reach for some Tylenol. But thanks to feedback from other players, they said using the 3D gives the environments a much richer sense of depth, making this one of the best looking 3D games ever made. As for things I didn't like about this game, well, for starters, I'm not thrilled with being confined to just going from level to level now. I loved the openness of the last game, I'm sorry, but I just did. Next, Dark Moon should have had checkpoints, since the game is broken into levels and features no saves other than after finishing a level. So if you get killed by a boss or ghost, you'll need to start the entire level over from the very beginning. So all the loot, ghosts, and gems you collected were null and void. This is actually a pretty serious matter, folks, although it can be avoided if you manage to discover a golden bone in your journey. Lastly, as for the motion controls, they're okay, I suppose. That is, until you need to use the balance beams. Even though these events are very few, mind you, it's still a pain because the gyro doesn't recognize the proper movement. Since Nintendo allowed folks other ways to use the gyro for different parts of the game, it would have been nice to have an alternative for this mode. That being said, Dark Moon definitely offers more good qualities than bad. For instance, the music and sound effects are just excellent in this game. Though I did find the music a little less tense than before. It has more of a Luigi vibe this time, which is fine because it adds to the comical emotion for this game. It's almost like the music has become another character altogether. I don't know if anybody has mentioned this or not, but I love that Luigi once again brings so much personality and charm to his games. He panics and stumbles about the mansions and even sings along to the background music. Only in a Nintendo game, folks. But this inclusion made me laugh and smile so much while playing this game. Sometimes it's the little things that just really stick out to you. Replay value actually surprised me. After each mission, you have the ability to revisit any level to search for hidden boos. You can collect rare gems and golden bones too. Plus, up to 3 of your friends can play the Scare Scraper online and hunt ghosts together. Each player taking control of a different colored Ouija, and it's actually fun. In closing, Luigi's Mansion 2 Dark Moon is a pretty good 3DS game. While I don't like it better than the original, personal preference, having a compact Luigi game on the go is pretty rad. Though again, not a fan of the separate levels and lack of checkpoints. I'm sorry, I'm just not. I did love collecting the extra gems and exploring the different mansions because they all felt so unique. For what this game is, Dark Moon is an excellent 3DS game, and you would be a ghoul to miss out on this delightful adventure. So in short, this one's worth owning, folks.
I did it!
Hey, thanks so much for watching this review. If this video was helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below because it really helps us out a lot. If you didn't like this video, well, tell me why. Well, until we meet again, gamers, God bless and happy gaming. I'll be seeing you.